Hello and welcome into your Game 27 and Game 28 reviews for the Boston Bruins. Now, the games would be all take place on the road in Florida. We'd be taking on the Panthers and the Lightning, and we would have a pretty tough time dealing with both teams. Now, the game you'd think we'd have a better shot at winning would be the game versus Florida. They're just getting Luongo back from injury, so hopefully you can expose him. He could have a little rust on him. Quite the opposite. Luongo ends up shutting us out 5-0, and Mike Hoffman would get the scoring started in the second period for the Panthers. Great pass by Jonathan Huberdeau to the middle of the ice to Colton Sevier. And Sevier goes around Halak, throws it at him, it loses the puck. Mike Hoffman's the first one to find it, and he puts it in the net. Later in that period, towards past the midway point, I'm pretty sure, Mike Matheson goes coast to coast on you. Ryan Donato tries to defend him at neutralize. Lame attempt, terrible attempt. Torrey Krug, another lame attempt at defending Mike Matheson. He gets to the circle and snipes through Halak. Halak was pretty bad tonight, to be honest. One of Halak's few blemishes on his record. He looked kind of trash, to be honest. A lot of the goals that were scored on him should have been scored on him. Then the next goal, I'm going to the images here. These I have the score sheet. It was Jonathan Huberdeau from Yandel and Barkov. That was right after the Mike Matheson, and then towards the end of the period, Mike Hoffman would drill a one-timer from Barkov on the power play, putting the Florida Panthers up 4-0 after 2. And this is might be the single worst period the Bruins have had all year, to be honest. You're hard-pressed to find another one. And when they came out for the third period, they did not look any better. They were still basically stunned by Florida. Florida put one more up. It was Dadonov who basically got an uncontested shot from right in front of Halak, easy roofed. It was just a terrible game. The defense was incompetent. They just weren't up to the task of defending Florida's top six. Florida has a good top six, but man, made them look like all-stars. The offense could get nothing going. I remember David Pastrnak having a good attempt pretty early in the game, and outside of that, I can't remember much else. And you let the 38 or 39-year-old Roberto Luongo shut you out, and it's not a good look, really. It really isn't. It's not 2010. Luongo's not his prime anymore. You put up over, I think they ended shots in 34, 35. You should be scoring against him. Just is what it is. But he holds the door shut, and Florida holds on for the 5-0 victory. Shut out by Florida with their amazing home crowd of about 20 people. That stadium is insane how few fans they get in there. I know it's not in Miami, but it's close to Miami. Should be more fans there. It's kind of sad to see. So then you go to the Lightning game, which was 2 days later on this Thursday, and we get a great sign, and that is Charlie McAvoy on the ice for the Boston Bruins. And you're really happy to see Charles back. Charlie McAvoy brings a great puck-carrying dynamic. He's a good defender. But in this game, he looked pretty rusty. A few pretty rough puck pickups. Not the best decision-making. He played pinball off of Rask pads in one instance, I remember. But either way, great to see Charlie McAvoy back. Hopefully he'll look better in the next game. I remember the last time he came back from injury, he looked rough in that first game back. It is hard to just jump back on the ice and get right into the game because of how fast they play in the NHL. So take that into mind when judging his performance as well. And in this game, David Pastrnak would get the goal right away. Colby Cave got a shot, put it on Domingue because Vasilevsky's injured for a little bit too. So that's more injuries. There's just injuries all over the league. Hits Domingue in the chest, falls. Pastrnak skate kicks it to his blade and puts it past Domingue for the quick goal. 2-0 into the game. And the Bruins go up 1-0. Tampa Bay, though, Bruins started out better than Tampa. But Tampa Bay would pick up the pace, and Tampa Bay would have the much better period. And they would be rewarded with a Braden Point goal. Great pass by Kucherov to Point, and Point roofs it on Rask. Kucherov is such a fantastic player. Point is such a fantastic player. And, when they're on the ice together like that, because they don't have Stamkos and Kucherov together anymore, which is news to me because I haven't seen Tampa play before this. I have not. But Kucherov, special pass to a good finisher in Braden Point. I believe Braden Point has 27 goals. Yeah, it was his 21st, so he has one more goal than Pastrnak. Pasternak's goal was the 20th. Should have mentioned that, by the way, too. My bad. To the second period we go, and the Bruins, I thought, were the better team in the second period, actually. But, they didn't score. They had more shots. They had better opportunities in Tampa. They were controlling the play. but Tampa Bay shuts the door on them. Domingue does a good job that period to keep the Bruins from going ahead. And I think on this game, what if the Bruins had scored in the second period, gotten their confidence back, took the lead, and maybe they're able to defend well against Tampa, but it didn't happen, and we go to the third tied 1-1 still. And this beginning of the third period was rough. A few bad decisions. It starts off Brandon Carlo. I believe that's the first one. Yeah, it's Brandon Carlo. He turns the puck over. He chases his turnover, which I kind of wish he didn't looking back at the replay before I made this video. He chases a turnover, and he gets exposed because of it. Killorn gets it. He beats Carlo down the right boards. Carlo catches up, doesn't do enough physicality-wise to disrupt Killorn. Killorn lays a beautiful pass. I believe this is a Joseph goal. Yeah, this is Matthew Joseph, who I don't know too much about, but this is his 9th goal in the year. The pass from Killorn goes right through Torrey Krug's legs. Would have liked Torrey to get something on that, but Torrey does not. And good finish, 5-hole honor asked by Joseph here. And it was just bad play by Carlo, and Krug didn't do enough to stop Joseph. So really bad by the defensive pair there. The Bruins would then go on the power play after this, right after 2 minutes. And you're really thinking, okay, this is where we get back and tie the game up here. The power play for the Bruins is good. And at the points on this power play where Marchand and Pastrnak in this instance, and they both fumble the puck, make bad decisions shot-wise, pass when you shoot when you should pass type of deal, and they turn the puck over. Anthony Cirelli goes end-to-end. Beautiful deke to beat Rask, and the Lightning strike you with 2 goals in the first 4 minutes of the third period. Take all the wind out of the sails, and, the Bruins were toast after this. They didn't believe they could beat Tampa because Tampa Bay has, I think they have a mental edge over the Bruins right now. What they did to them in the playoffs last year, winning 4 straight. If we go down to them, I'm not sure how confident this Bruins team is without Char and Bergeron. It is something to note when you don't have people like Bergeron and Char out there to right the ship, because those are veteran leaders who can get the team back on track. Bergeron's big because Bergeron really dictates the pace of play for offense, and you can see that the Bruins have been struggling scoring without him. But one last goal was scored in this game, and it was basically in garbage time in a way. The Bruins were down 3-1, trying to get back. The Bruins hung in there and put in a good effort. I will be honest, the Bruins, as much as it looked like they felt kind of defeated, the effort was there to try to come back. Tampa Bay, in my opinion, went into kind of a shell. Tampa Bay, when they go up by a few goals, they play back, and I think that was more the case in the Bruins playing hard and playing to the whistle, which they did. But I feel like if Tampa Bay decided to keep attacking, I think Tampa Bay would have been better suited. I don't think the Krejci goal, because Krejci eventually scores from the point. But Tampa Bay just let the Bruins come to them. There was no intent to attack. They had 3 guys at the blue line and 2 guys at the red line. They were basically playing defense in the neutral zone, trying to make entries as hard as possible. Props to the Bruins for getting through that, because sometimes that can stop a team. The Bruins went right through that, and Tampa Bay just absorbed everything like a sponge. Just let them come at them and not really going hard in their offensive zone. They're playing very defensive to try to secure the win. What do I think of the game as a whole? I'd say the Bruins didn't play bad. I just say the Lightning deserved to win, and the Lightning made fewer mistakes. That's really what it comes down to sometimes in these games. The Bruins made more mistakes than the Lightning. Those 2 goals at the beginning of the third were both mistakes. It wasn't bad team hockey. It wasn't that the structure wasn't good or the effort wasn't there. It was just bad decision making by individuals, like Carlo's bad decision. Krug, I wouldn't say it's a bad decision. I'd say it's just bad reactions. Marchand and Pastrnak both made questionable decisions at the point. So that's really the game right there, is just decision making. Both goalies played fine in my opinion. I wouldn't blame Rask, but all the goals scored on him there wasn't really much you could do about it. Yes, you'd like to see a save on one of those breakaway attempts, one-on-one attempts at least, with the Joseph and Cirelli. Cirelli's the one who went end-to-end and scored. So you'd like to see better attempts on the play by Rask and maybe him get a save. But at the end of the day, you can't blame Rask for that game. You can only blame the defensemen who let up the opportunities that led to those goals, in my opinion. Now, we have a big issue to really discuss. The Bruins have 16 goals in their last 10 games, and that is pathetic, to be honest. That's 1.6 goals per game over their last 10, and we're falling. I believe we're over 10 points behind Toronto and Tampa now, and we're like 9 behind Buffalo or something like that. I think we're 14 points behind Tampa. So Tampa has a 7-win gap over us in the standings right now. So you can kiss the chance of first place. That's probably not happening at this point. First place is probably unobtainable because you would need Toronto and Tampa to fall off and for us to go on a very good run. The more I look at it, the more I think by the time we get healthy, if we get healthy, we're looking like we're going to be stuck in that wild card one spot for a while. But if we keep losing, don't take that spot as a given, because that's something you have to earn. You have to win to stay in that spot. And now I believe Montreal, I should probably look at the standings. This is bad of me to just do this off the top of my head. So I'm going to pull up the standings right now, because it's not that good right now for us. Yep. Oh, we're in the second wildcard spot because Montreal passed us. So now we're 2 points ahead of Detroit, who is the first team out. The Penguins are 3 points behind us. Rangers, Hurricanes, Florida. Yeah, we're anything but guaranteed a playoff spot right now. We're on a 3-game losing streak. So what do you do in this instance if you're Bruce Cassidy? What do you do if you're Don Sweeney? Now, if you're Bruce Cassidy, I'm not sure there's too much you can really do. If you're Bruce Cassidy, I hope I didn't say I'm talking about Cassidy right now. If you're Bruce Cassidy, I don't think there's too much you can do, because you're putting the talent out there, you're mixing and matching, you are changing up the lines. Props to you for doing that. You've tried a lot of different combos and a lot of different things, and nothing's really stuck except for the first line when it's out there together. And Krejci and DeBrus need to be on that second line, because those things have stuck. Everything under that's been subpar. The third line rarely scores. They rarely produce well. The fourth line, forget about it. You're not getting any goals from them and all that. So what do you need to do? And I think this lies on Don Sweeney. He needs to trade for a forward. You can't just watch the team and say they'll solve their problems. It happens, but it doesn't always happen. As the person who runs the team, you have to make some changes. You have to do some things to help the team. And I think now is the time, if ever a time, to put a spark in the locker room and acquire a talented top 6 winger to spark the team, to help them start scoring, because a trickle-down effect. Once you see pucks go in the net, it affects the team, and they're more confident, and they put more pucks in the net. So I really think that more than ever now, we need to make a trade for a top 6 forward. And if that doesn't happen by the trade deadline, I shouldn't even give him that long, to be honest, till I make a video screaming to trade for a top 6 forward. It needs to happen. It's unacceptable that it has not happened to this point, in my opinion. It was a clear issue going into the season, but that belief that we can solve the problems internally. We got the prospects, we got the young guys. I think people just drink into the Bruins Kool-Aid a little bit too much, with leaving everyone in the system will pan out and be what they're going to be. Yes, there's some talented prospects, but they're not all ready yet, and they're not all going to work out. And if there's a time to trade for a top 6 forward, it's got to be now. It just has to be, in my opinion. I also think if Colby Cave can stick in the lineup, he could be the third-line center. But I think Colby Cave doesn't work out there. Third-line center is something you should probably trade for, too. His center depth is huge. Patrice Bergeron, I want to talk about him because I'm done talking about those games now. There's 3 things I believe I want to talk about after talking about the games. The first one is Patrice Bergeron. He's not guaranteed to be fully healthy at the time we were told. Now, we were given 4 to 6 weeks. It's looking like it's going to be closer to 6. And at the end of those 6 weeks, it's very possible, and I want to stress this a lot, it's very possible he needs surgery on his shoulder, and he'll be out the rest of the year. Now, obviously, that's speculation. I have no confirmation on that, but that's a real possibility. And at that point, are you just going to say, let's throw away the season and tank? I really don't believe you can do that, to be honest. That's disrespectful when Chara comes back, for you to have the 41-year-old captain being out there and telling him, hey, we're not going to try to make the team better, even though we have a very capable group, even without Bergeron. I think if Bergeron isn't healthy, you probably should make a trade for a center as well. I feel like the time to win should be now, and the time to attempt to win is now. I don't think if Bergeron's injured like that, you roll over and die. I think you try to win. And I know that might not be the popular opinion, but that is mine. You try to win. You do not throw away the season if that's the case. Hopefully that's not the case and Bergeron comes back and is healthy. The next thing I want to talk about is the Bruins claimed a forward from Dallas. His name's Jamel Smith. I'm going to be honest with you, I don't know too much about Jamel, but he's got like 20 points in 70-some career games, which isn't bad. Not bad. That would be better than anyone on our fourth line. So I say the second he arrives in Boston, you stick him in the lineup because there's no way with that type of points production elsewhere, he can't do that here, in my opinion. Obviously, I haven't seen him play, so I can't be confident, but you give the kid a shot. That's all I can say on that one, and I hope Jamel works out. Really happy. And one thing that's interesting, might only be like, I can only think of 3 Black Bruins players in my lifetime. It's cool to get another because there's not enough of them in the league, sadly. And, I can think of Malcolm Subban and Jerome McGinley. Besides that, in my lifetime, I'm 20 years old to give you guys an idea. So I think this is only the third black player to be on the Bruins in my lifetime. So it's pretty cool to see some diversity because, to be honest, NHL is, for the most part, just a bunch of white guys, which is kind of boring in my opinion. But what's the other thing? Injuries for injuries, we're still missing Urho, Chara, Miller, and Bergeron. What Urho Vakanainen could be for us, I don't really know. He only played like I think he played not even 2 games. I think he played 10 minutes in the first one, and he got injured in the first period. So we've had less than 15 minutes of ice time to observe Urho, so who knows what he is when he comes back. Then Chara, we obviously need him back. He's just such a good leader, such a good defensive stick. Less breakdowns with Chara out there. He's old, he's slower, but he's a smart player, good defensive player, and we all know that. Miller, he's just a solid defenseman. Be nice to get him back. As for me, that's all I'm going to talk about today. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you like my Bruins content, you like my Bruins coverage, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, turn on the notifications, all that good stuff. And I'll see you next time. Thank you for watching. And peace. Have a good weekend, guys.